Ooh, seems like the Xbox Series S might actually be helping other consoles. Yes, that's including the PlayStation. What's going on, you guys? Gaming Addict here, coming at you with another video. You guys know, when it comes down to it, I've been in the middle when it comes to the Xbox Series S. I do see a need for it in the industry. I see the reasoning behind the reason that Microsoft and Xbox made it. But I do see the drawbacks. I see the downfalls to the platform as well. You know, it's an ingenious move for Xbox to like, look, we're going to make a lower SKU. We're pretty much going to make the Xbox Series S our regular system and the Xbox Series X our mid-gen refresh in a way. Now, obviously, it was done a weird way. And, you know, you couldn't even use, it's like comparing apples to oranges when it comes to the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 5 Pro. But I would see them a little bit the same way. But the good thing about it is the Series S is $200 cheaper than the Xbox One Series X. And I think that really puts themselves in that impulse buy. You know, you guys think, I myself might buy a lot of these games that come out, might get sent review codes for a lot of these games come out. Most people aren't buying games like that. Most people play what? Free-to-play games. Marvel Rivals. Fortnite. Minecraft isn't a free-to-play, but it's damn near close to being a free-to-play. I think it's like $20. I don't know. Put in the comment section below. What's Minecraft go for these days? Maybe 10? I don't know. There's a lot of free-to-play games that's on the market, and I think the Xbox Series X picks those games up, such as, you know, Call of Duty Warzone. And it also picks up the casual audience that plays like 1 or 2 games a year. Madden, 2K, Call of Duty, the base editions. There's a lot of these games that people only play that game. And I think that is the demographic that the Series S appeals to. Now, obviously, when it comes to development, developers have to develop for another SKU. They have to make games for another SKU. And in some ways, the Series S is definitely lower in a lot of aspects, maybe when you compare it to consoles. In my personal opinion, these games run on less powerful PCs. So to me, the Series S has always been on, not a matter of if the game can run on the Series S, it's how long is it going to take to run on the Series S. Now, there are obviously certain situations where, you know, when you have going on the RAM, where stuff like the single player and the split screen of Baldur's Gate 3 made it to where they could not get the game to run on the system. Now, it wasn't necessarily on a matter of can the game run on the system. It could run. It was that split screen feature that was making it a hard time running on that system. So with all that being said, you know, it's always been a argument. Does the Series S hold the industry back? And that's the question that I kind of want to, like, you know, entertain with today. We want to talk about it. I'm going to do something I don't do a lot often on here. You know, I'm going to report on my own podcast. You guys know I'm part of the Iron Lords podcast. And we had Toby, one of the people over there responsible for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And he was on our podcast, and he wanted, I specifically asked him a question on the Xbox Series S and X. And, you know, exactly what type of, you know, priority is it to make sure that these consoles have performance modes. And let's jump over here. Let's jump over here and see what he had. Shout out to this new assist dude. He made it very easy for me to find this information. So let's pop over here and listen to this. About the performance thing, because you said that originally you guys thought it was going to be 30 frames.
Yeah.
Was it something that, like, internally you guys do would be like a selling point on consoles, and like they were actively going for it, or like they just so happen to find a way? I'm kind of curious on like the priority to making a performance mode on console.
A bit of both, but the priority was make it 30 and make it run good and make it stable and make it bulletproof. And then when they found out, hey, wait a second, it seems like we can do more, especially also with the new PlayStation releasing that offered again more power on the hardware. We were like, okay, wait, if we test a few things here and there, and the optimizations also for the Xbox Series S helped greatly the other platforms, the other consoles as well.
Really? Could you
Unfortunately,
expound? Could you expound?
That's called
That's a point of
prioritization.
contention. That's actually a big statement that you said, because a lot of people feel that the S holds back development. You're stating the opposite. You're stating that developers actually utilize that to help development. I'm just curious if you
Well,
can
of
add on.
course, it's the weakest of the four. I mean, that's not even a secret. But since you have to dial down on a few things and have to be cleverer about well, where you can in the programming, in the code and so on, and be able to save memory here and there, some of these optimizations for S benefit to the other consoles as well, because you either can go full force ahead with the big ones, or you use those memory savings that you found out for the S and use it for the bigger ones as well, so that it runs smoother. Not saying that it looks worse
Right.
or whatever than it could, but it runs better than it.
Helping with that optimization.
So
All right, so pretty much what you're going to see, I'm going to put the IOP that this came from in the description below if you want to watch like the entire segment when it comes to this. It'll be in the timestamps. There was a lot of good questions related to consoles in general. Here's how I believe Toby came across this. I believe Toby was saying, look, the Series S is definitely the weaker out of especially the console SKU. In my personal opinion, this game is optimized well in general. But he's saying when you work with these smaller end and weaker end systems, you have to develop your own little unique ways of making it run on that system, because we've seen it with like the Switch, with them doing like weird techniques to make games run on the Switch. And he's essentially saying when you find out these good techniques, when you find out these ways to make the game run to the best of its ability on the Series S, you could take these same tactics, these same features, and you can apply them across everything. On this podcast, I straight out asked him when it comes to performance. And he said in the beginning, they were targeting 30 frames on consoles. But because of the Series S, because of having to work with lower skill PC, and I'm just throwing this as an assumption, they're able to use these techniques that they use to be able to get this game running on that hardware and, you know, those PC components, and they're able to take that same concept and apply it to everywhere. So now the Series S runs at a good frame rate, looks good, and we can take that same tactic that we used and we can make it run better on the Series X, make it run better on the PlayStation 5. In a way, it's making the developers better too, because they're able to use this technique and apply it on every SKU that's in the industry. Look, there's no denying that the Series S has its troubleshoots when it comes to developing. But a lot of these developers, it just depends on them. Not every developer is treated equally. There are some people that are just simply more, they're more talented. They've been in the industry longer. They have a lot more experience working on multiple SKUs and stuff. Because keep in mind, it costs a lot of money to multi-develop for multiple platforms. It's not a cheap endeavor. So when you look at something like this, I totally can understand, you know, where he's coming from, where he's like, look, we took our experience with the Series S and we applied that to everything. And because of that, we got a better game in the end. We got these games running better on every platform. We got these games looking better on every platform. And my hat's off to him, because I've always said Series S is, as long as it's looked at the beginning of a development cycle, there are some things that's not going to be applied to games. There are some things that developers aren't going to even try because they know they got to have it run on the Series S. But that's with everything. That's with consoles. Some of these games go to mobiles these days, mobile platforms these days. So when you look at something like that, especially the Steam Deck, when you look at the Steam Deck, a lot of these games are being ran on the Steam Deck. They got to the point where they put on Twitter, they just openly say Steam Deck verify. A lot of these developers are going for that because when it's accessible and you're easy and you're able to play on the go, they know it's going to sell more units. So these days, look, does the Series S hold certain development back? I would say yes, but so does the Steam Deck. So does the ROG Ally. So does certain SKUs when it comes to PC gaming. I'm sure that's a nightmare when it comes to developing for PC because of how many cards is there, because you can't make a game on PC with the anticipation that everyone that's going to play your game is going to have the best equipment known to man. You got to make it for a variety of SKUs that goes into that. And I think that's what it comes down to, man. I'm kind of curious what you guys feel about this. Like I said, there's no denying that the Series S does have bottlenecks. But at the same time, we are in an industry where people are developing for handheld devices. And I don't think you can attack one without the other. These games are running great on the Steam Deck. So clearly they're going to run good on the Series S. And I think, it comes down to it. I personally, with their next gen hardware, I would personally want one platform, one hardware, and then I want a handheld version that's kind of like the Steam Deck. I don't want every game to run on both though. I want it to run more like the Steam Deck, where it's like, we're going to have verified games that have been extra optimized from the developers to make sure these games run really good. Because to me, I never want another situation where we lose out on a Baldur's Gate or we lose out on a Black Myth Wukong. Like, I want to make sure that every game comes to the hardware, and that's just my personal opinion on the matter. But anyway, tell me what you guys feel in the comment section below. I'm very curious your guys' opinion. Appreciate all the love and support you guys have been giving me. Like I told you, I'm going to start implementing more reviews into the channel. We got the Avowed review coming. Obviously, Xbox on dock. Going to review every Xbox game this year, hopefully, unless something happens. I'm going to review a couple more third-party stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff going on with the channel, man. I got some content all week for you guys. But if you guys enjoyed this video, definitely hit that like button. It's always appreciated. You could always sub to the channel. We make weekly content on here. Definitely follow me on Twitter at LordAddictILP. You can also follow my streaming channel, Addict Arena. All that's in the description below. And until next time, I really appreciate all of you guys' support. Until next time, have a good one. Man, I didn't expect all this to happen with this question.